We'll be releasing a new edition of Beneath the Lily Banners soon. The rule system's designed specifically for wargaming battles between 1660 and 1720. It focuses on the War of Spanish Succession, which some prefer to call the Marlborough period. A feature of the new book is a linked campaign which starts small and builds. We use the highly successful 4-play format, which I designed as a way of getting your toys on the table without breaking the bank. 4-play? Well, the idea began on a 2 feet square table with 4 units per side and 4 game turns to achieve a result. This is a low-risk entry into any period. It has since expanded and there are now dozens of scenario packs available, with more coming every month. Battles of this period are perceived as massive epics with 50,000 men per side, but the best way to eat an elephant is by cutting it into small pieces, and that's what this video is all about. This scenario, which is a trailer for the book, has 4 units per side and will be completed in 4 turns. It's 1704 and we're somewhere in Germany. The Franco-Bavarian army has deployed a rearguard to cover the army's march south. The advance guard of the Grand Alliance army, composed of English, Danish and Imperial infantry, must rout the rearguard, and quickly. The Allied troops, commanded by Charles Churchill, are all drilled and use D8 signature dice. This is a brigade-sized force composed of infantry. The composite unit of Imperial Grenadiers is elite, providing a positive morale modifier. The Franco-Bavarian force, under the Marquis de Rogel, is an all-arms affair. An Irish infantry battalion, a Bavarian cuirassier regiment, French dismounted dragoons, and a field gun which has a master gunner in attendance. The objectives are simple. The Allies must sweep away the rearguard and capture the road junction. The defenders must hold and repulse the attack. There are 4 turns to do it. As this is an introductory scenario with a tight time frame, the usual mechanism for order allowance is ignored. All units can activate every turn if they wish. Turn 1. All 4 Allied battalions have move orders and will advance 4 inches. The Franco-Bavarian units have defend orders which provide shooting and morale advantages for staying put, although the mobile formations are allowed to charge in defence of the position at any point. At the artillery phase, the gun takes its first ranging shot at just over 12 inches against the Juska regiment. This is engagement range for a field gun and gives it 3 D8s. Normally it's a 6+ to hit, but on the ranging shot there's a -2 modifier, meaning the gun needs 8s to hit. The French have a master gunner. He adds +1 to all throws. The gun needs 7+ and gets 1 hit, enough to cause a morale check on the Danes. In this era, the psychological impact of artillery is more significant than casualties. Regiment Prince George, standing close behind, takes the artillery shot-through check, but gets away with it. Lorraine Dragoons fire at engagement range on Churchills. There are no first fire bonuses for Dragoons. In the post-1700 period, we recommend dropping the all-musket and flintlock musket modifiers, as most troops are now standardising with no pikes for infantry and most having flintlock weapons. The Dragoons do get 1 extra die for their defend order, and this is the throw that causes a casualty. All Allied battalions hold fire as they want to get in close against the hard cover targets before using that precious first volley. The Danes passed the morale check comfortably on a net score of 8. 5 was the magic number needed to continue pressing forward. Turn 2. All Allied battalions have move orders and none are yet close enough to charge. There's no pre-measuring allowed with Beneath the Lily Banners for artillery fire, musketry or charges. You have to use your judgment. The Franco-Bavarians sit tight and await the onslaught. Churchill's regiment stops at the minimum separation distance of 3 inches, close enough to fire a murder range volley. Their hope will be to rattle the enemy and charge in on turn 3. Juska hold fire and move under the muzzle of the field gun at short range. They are nervous about a charge from the cuirassier and hold on to that precious first volley. The gun doubles the shooting dice from 3 to 6. Juska is not a new target, so the to hit score is 6, reduced to 5 because of the master gunner. The gun achieves 3 hits, which is not enough to disorder the doughty Danes, but they're not out of the woods yet. Regiment Clare piles on the pressure by targeting them. The Irish have the shooting angle to pour in a murder range volley. This turn could be painful if you're wearing Danish grey. Clare used 6 D10s for the first fire at murder range, plus 1 extra die for having the defend order. They score 4 hits. The Danes have now lost more than 1/3 strength and are disordered, but they pass the morale check and remain steady. On the other flank, Churchills pour in a murder range first volley, and even though they have to rethrow hits for hard cover, they inflict 4 casualties. This disorders the Dragoons and causes a morale check, which they fail even with a higher morale signature die for being in hard cover. They fall into a disorderly retreat and abandon the barricades. Turn 3. The Cuirassiers recognise their moment and pass the charge check to attack Regiment Juska. The battered Danes do well to pass the response check and roll up a devastating volley in defence. Despite this magnificence, not a single shot hits and the cavalry crash in. Elsewhere, Churchills simply march up, cross the barricade and occupy the position. The Austrian Grenadiers move to murder range to exchange fire with the Irish, and the cannon is masked by the melee. The Austrians manage only a single hit on Clare's, which responds with 2 hits from 7 dice. The luck of the Irish has become the luck of the Austrians. Despite a huge advantage, the cavalry cause only 1 casualty on Juska. The Danes respond in kind, meaning the combat is a draw. The cavalry lose all momentum, but wait a minute. The Danes now have 50% casualties, and when in combat, losing more than 1/3 of unit strength compels a morale check. They fail the check. The result is a retreat unless facing cavalry, in which case the unit is destroyed. The gallant Juska are cut down to a man, and as a final ignominy, the Bavarians capture their colours. The destruction of Regiment Juska means morale checks all round for the Grand Alliance. There is a definite ripple in the force. Both the Grenadiers and Prince George are shaken, meaning they cannot advance in turn 4. Worse still, Churchills wobble because of this mayhem upon the flank and collapse into a shambolic retreat, abandoning the ground that they've just occupied. The attack has faltered, but it's not all bad news. The retreating Lorraine Dragoons check morale, and this turns to a rout, which forces the victorious Bavarian cavalry to check morale. They panic, fleeing the field and leaving only the gun and the Irish in position. What a turn! Turn 4. The Ragged Alliance advance is halted. All the remaining units can do is offer fire at the barricades. The cannon fire is ineffective against the Danes, and Clare's 2 fail to deliver the killer blow. Alas, the retreating Churchills dissolve into terror-stricken rout. What will Charles Churchill report to his brother John? Le Marquis will take great pleasure in his express to Maréchal Tallard. I hope you've enjoyed this first taster of Beneath the Lily Banners. If you did, please like it and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.